So they didn't accept the election results. Got more Leftist Hypocrisy coming right up. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Conversation Logical Reason. And as always, I want to say thank y'all for joining me today. So back on the topic of January 6th, as y'all know that the left have constantly talked about it. They criticized the conservatives for not, protesting because they refused to accept the election results. That the fact that Donald Trump lost, they refused to accept it, But forget the fact that it was inspired by all the shenanigans that took place. Way too many, more votes than registered voters in certain precincts. We had, a push for illegals to vote, which means we have the lack of control of our election system. I'm saying we had the case of it. It's just election fraud everywhere, mail-in ballot scam. That also was a fraud. Just mail-in ballots everywhere. We have the ballots under the table, the video in Georgia, Michigan initially went for Trump, then the next day they found all these ballots and suddenly they switched for Biden, dead people voting and so on and so forth. There was even a video that someone uploaded a video of them going to the election, wherever the polling place was, claimed to be somebody else, said they didn't have their ID, but the people were going to let him vote. But he decided, to be honest and integrity, he decided, well, I'll just go back and get my ID. Just to show that it's easier to fraud. It's easier for people to vote in someone's name if you don't have tight controls. And certain states have more and certain states have less. Here in Louisiana, that wouldn't fly because here you have to show your ID and there are two people with two different books, both have to read your name, sign it, and then you get to vote. Okay, so we need that type of control everywhere. There's just no integrity in a voting process when there's so many, like I said, so many states have their own security, which again, that's the whole purpose of states. So man, we need some integrity when it comes down to our voting. And, and there was too much nonsense that was way too much nonsense surrounding 2020 for people to just say, well, you just don't want to accept the election. And on that day, January 6th, it was just a bunch of patriots basically voicing their opinion of the mistrust of our system. And we're saying, and as a result of this, it's an insurrection. That they just kept repeating that to try that, that narrative to try to demonize and downplay for those people who basically don't know anything to believe. But anyway, well, where's the hypocrisy though? Where's the leftist hypocrisy here? Well, in 2016, when Donald Trump won, there was mass people questioning it, right? Then the very next day, there were protests in multiple cities across America. They were protests in the street over Donald Trump winning, right? And there were protests on multiple days. That's how ridiculous it is. Again, I say that people on the right rarely protest and people on the left do nothing but damn protest to see. Well, we had protests multiple days after Donald Trump won, right? You had the protest on his inauguration day. I heard there were claims of protesters out there stopping people from getting to the grounds, blocking the pathways and stuff like that. That's how petty they are, right? Then we heard it started off with Russian collusion from the Democrats. Russian collusion. The Russians impacted in the election. They had nothing there, so they dropped that and they went to obstruction. Donald Trump was obstructing justice. They went back to Russian collusion, cried about that. Then they dropped that to go to the rape allegations against Trump, as well as Kavanaugh, when he was basically Trump selected him to replace Ruth Bader Ginsburg for the Supreme Court. They brought all these females to claim that Kavanaugh raped them as well. And then you had to grab them by the vagina. They tried to hype that up. That was absolutely nothing. Donald Trump recorded in secret. He didn't go out there and say, grab him by the vagina. Okay, he did not basically hire a plane to to pull a banner, fly across the sky saying, grab him by the pussy. He did not do that. He was recorded in secret. That was locker room banter, but they try to make a whole thing out of that, saying that Donald Trump is going around here grabbing vaginas. They don't have any evidence of that. I mean, they spent nearly 3.5 years trying to get Donald Trump impeached because they refused to accept that he was the president. They didn't stop until the next election cycle started. But somehow, January 6th, that one incident was patriots refusing to accept the election results. And not to mention, there was the same thing. Remember the second George Bush, he stole the election because of Florida, just Florida, that's it. Again, these people are straight up hypocrites. And they follow the rules of radicals, accuse your enemy of what you do, your opponent of what you do, where they follow that more than any. And this is another example of that, them criticizing their opponents for what they do. They're the ones that refuse to accept elections and operate based off of lack of integrity and always involved in some nonsense. Again, January 6th was not an insurrection. It was not a coup, and it was not a bunch of people, just a bunch of patriots. They had legitimate concerns, and it was just that one protest. But for the left to sit here and try to say that people refuse to accept election fraud, people who refuse to accept election results when they are the ones who've done the more protests about the election results. Come on now. Anyway, y'all, this is more leftist hypocrisy. Again, I can't stand hypocrites. That's one of the my two biggest pet peeves. One of them is hypocrites. And whenever I see hypocrisy with the left, which they do all the time, I will call it out. And this is just yet another example. Anyway, y'all, as always, until next time.